All right, so that story that we just covered, listen, I'm not sure we did justice properly. I'm sure there will be more conversations. Feel free, opinions, all that kind of stuff, so we can dig a little deeper to it. Because again, I think it's deeper than the part that the wickedness aspect of it. You know, it's obviously wicked, but it's deeper than that. So let's continue the conversation. If you have any other thing, but let's talk about Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington. How many people know who Denzel Washington is here? How many people know who Denzel Washington? Anybody know who this gentleman is? Everybody know who he is? Let's talk about Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington has a few things to share with us with regards to marriage and first dates. And I want us to go through that. But before we go through that, let me see what Blessed say. Blessed say she's making the moves, touching on him, and other acts of seduction like wearing a lot of revealing clothes. No, yeah, you can't control what other people do. You can only influence them. That's why I said the one thing he needs, if he needs a tip on what to do, he needs to tamper with her self-esteem. There's certain way that you touch me that there's certain face I'll give you, or that you will never do it again. You will hate yourself after it. That's what he needs to do. Okay? But outside of that, you can't control what other people do, like wearing what she wears and stuff like that. No, basically throwing herself on him. You mean physically? Is she landing on the bola by mistake? And like, you know, it's a lot there, right? She even asked to move in with him at some point. Yeah, your relationship with your boyfriend is not tight yet. You need to distance yourself. It sounds like it's a boyfriend who is not taking you serious yet, and maybe you're moving too faster than him. Okay, but you can't. At the end of the day, you can't control what other people do. You can only influence them. Like right now, you can influence your boyfriend. If he really wants you and he wants to give you that level of respect that you're asking for, you will need to have that self-respect first. Okay? That means you're open to leaving. I'm meaning it. I'm sorry. If you don't feel good about it, why would you stay in it? If you feeling disrespected, why would you stay in it? With respect to understanding that you can't control what other people do. Okay, let's pay attention to that. And sagacious, they say, "Ooh, my crush. This guy's Arugbo. Why is that your crush? It's an Arugbo man. It's like 80 years old. You talking about? Chiye too. Look at you. Look at you. You can't even bring a regular brown skin brother, and then you start to all over the place. Look at them. Chai, that's too much. Your crush too, go man. See life anyway. Let's see what he has to say about marriage, and then we'll talk about it.
Your first date together?
First date experience.
Together?
Yeah. She remembers our first date
I
together.
remember our
Because
first
what
date.
happened?
I paid for the ride.
I know you was
I
gonna
paid
say
for
that.
the
You didn't pay
cab
for the
ride.
date though.
I didn't.
What happened
Well,
was
because no.
Go ahead.
When we went to a party, there was nothing to pay for after we got there.
She
we
came
took a
with
cab,
receipts.
and I'm paying for the cab ride, but then I'm watching the meter and I'm running out of money. And
He turns to me and says, "I have no money."
Wait, does that sound like struggle love? Does that sound like struggle love so far? Right? Let's keep going. Listen, a lot of people admire Denzel Washington and his wife. I do too. I think so. Have you seen his early days? No, Sergey, no, I haven't. But anyway, I'm a Denzel Washington hater. I am a RMD hater, right? Who else? Yeah, especially those two. So stop the cap. Anyway, it's does it sound like struggle love so far? Let's go back. Wait, let's go back here. Let's go back. Let's go. This is good. Good stuff.
First date experience.
Together?
yeah. She remembers our first date
I
together.
remember our
Because
first
what
date.
happened?
I paid for the ride.
I know you was
I
gonna
paid
say
for
that.
the
You didn't pay
cab
for the
ride.
date though.
I didn't.
What happened
Well,
was
Wait. What was that pause about when he said you didn't pay for the date though? Right? What was that? What was that about? Let's keep going. Right. Go back here.
what happened
Well,
was
because no.
Go ahead.
When we went to a party, there was nothing to
Okay. Ola, you always said never argue. This is not an argument, okay? One of the things you're going to need a lot in marriage, a lot of it is banter, right? Okay, but there's some truth in this. It's banter. Banters are better when there's actually a lot of truth in it, right? Let's keep going.
Pay for after we got there.
She
we
came
took a
with
cab,
receipts.
and I'm paying for the cab ride, but then I'm watching the meter and I'm running out of money. And
He turns to me and says, I have no money.
I didn't say that.
You turned to me. Oh, I can remember. I see where I am. I was right behind the driver.
Okay, and what happened?
Jesus is
I
Lord.
paid for it.
You paid the whole thing?
Yes.
Fear
And it was
women.
back in the days where the cab drivers had the levies.
Sounds like Spike was right.
And I've been paying every.
He's been paying ever since. Ha! Hey, Leoda. But anyway, listen. There's a lot. If you want to, just go ahead and dig up a lot of Denzel clips. Okay, just dig up a lot of Denzel clips off of TikTok. You will learn a lot about marriage. Okay, stay away from YouTube gurus and me too, but you know I'm joking about that. Okay, but if you're looking for some really good stuff, you know, a lot of stuff that he's saying, you know, the truth is that when you're young, they're probably young, you know, those kind of things are allowed, right? It's not a big deal, especially if you're having fun, you're feeling. The ultimate of everything is that, gentlemen, a woman needs to feel safe and secure. She will do everything. Of course, we don't want that to keep, because look at what he said. He said, and he's been paying ever since. But it's a joke, right? You get the joke, right? But just be guided when you're thinking about first dates and all this kind of stuff. If you're young enough, hey, listen, you could go to the college dorm, okay, for your dates. You don't have to listen to Instagram where they said you should take them to chow mein, okay? The talking points are trickling down and they're becoming problematic, okay? With that being said, the idea of struggle love is at an emotional level. It's much more important to pay attention to that at emotional level. If you feel like you're forcing something, shout out to Blessed. She said, thank you for your advice a lot. And thank you. If you feel like you're forcing something and you don't feel safe and secure, that's struggle love, okay? It can show up as minuscule stuff, like moment by moment stuff. It can show up as a whole 3 months chunk out of your 4 months relationship. At that point, you need to stop everything and have a conversation. Start with a conversation, right? Come from a lot. You like this person, so you obviously like them. Say, hey, this kind of thing, it makes me feel some type of way. That's all you have to say. What do you mean? Are you jealous? If I'm jealous, uncle, why can't I be jealous? You belong to me. Listen, little banter here and there, little jokey. Don't be too serious, but yes, say what you need to say, the truth. You know, don't be stuck on the talking point. No, I don't want to come off as insecure. Like, who cares? Okay, insecure is insecure. You don't feel safe. You don't feel secure. Who cares about the terminologies, right? If you are truthfully feeling insecure, will it work? If you feel secure, you will pay for the cab, even on the first date. Okay, gentlemen, it's better that you end up paying for it for the rest of your life. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, just so you know, just in case that went over somebody's head. Anyway, let's go over this real quickly.
The levies.
Sounds like Spike was right.
And I've been paying every.
What's the secret to a 34-year marriage?
Yes, dear. Honey, you're right. You know you're right. How can I help? I have a good woman. That's the bottom.
So listen to that. That's very important. They ask him, what's the secret, right?
What's the secret to a 34-year marriage?
What's the secret to a 34? I want you, Katie Wanube. What's the secret to a 34? A 30, shout out to Auntie B, Auntie Temiti right now. I just thought about them. All the UK folks. Auntie Gores Corner. Right? All the 34 married. What's the secret? He goes, yes, dear.
Yes, dear. Honey, you're right. You know you're
Honey, you're right. You know you're right.
How can I help?
How can I help? I have a good woman. There is a short man on the internet right now calling this type of gestures simpish behavior. An extremely short man too. I will save him by his name. Okay. These are the problems. Everything is so serious. Everything is so serious. le cracky jokey mo. Okay. And then he ends up saying, the truth is that I have a good woman. What kind of woman will make you want to say, yes, dear? Honey, you're right. You know you're right. Right? Obviously, that's a good woman. So even if you're in a bad behavior, you should just say, that's just such as no, you're lame. You're lame. You get stuck. You're too serious. You're lame. You know? That's what that is. Let's keep going.
That's the bottom line. That's the truth. Have a good woman who...
Have a good woman. That's your responsibility, bro. Have a good woman. So that you don't get stuck in talking points. Happy wife, happy life. That's just a simple. No, you're lame. You're just lame. Okay? If somebody says, I want my wife to be happy, why is that your problem? They want, it's a want, a personal want, their wife to be happy. That becomes your headache. That's a problem. That's a self-you problem. And it's a problem that has to do with you've picked a person you consider to be a bad woman in the past. Oh, you chop breakfast. You can't help it to just think this way. You can stop. Now, this is Men of Prestige. And you can start thinking a little bit differently. It starts with a good woman. You pick a good woman. Oh, people do change. Yes, they do evolve and change. That's part of the equation, right? That's going to test your patience. It's real. This is real. Welcome to real life. Hello. Okay, the people you love the most are going to test your patience on all sides of the equation. There is x raised to power 3 plus yz equals to x, and then there's another z raised to power 3/3 at the logarithms of the, and then there's an x factor, and we never know what that is. That's how life works. Welcome to the real world. All right, let's keep going.
Who stuck by me through thick and thin, who raised our children when I was in London or Africa somewhere. It does get better with time.
Who raised my children when I was in Africa, in London, somewhere, nowhere. Right? And people are just going to get stuck on lame ass stupid stuff like, was she a virgin when you married her? That's stupid. Stupid. Just stupid. I'm sorry.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, it does.
Like wine.
Like wine. It gets
Children
better.
when I was in London or Africa somewhere. It does get better with time.
It gets better with time. It gets better with time. That's something we don't hear enough of anymore. No, if it's just bad by 2 months, just throw in the towel, call it quits. Yeah, you have the right. And they're not wrong. You have the right. But also the reality is that there's nothing that's worthwhile in life that won't test you, that won't drag you woto in the beginning, right? It does get better with time. It does. Okay? So it's a little tricky because we can't manipulate people. We attempt to do that sometimes and it doesn't work. We can't manipulate people to stay in a situation where they're feeling misused. I can't blame them either. Okay? So we have gentlemen, we have lots of work to do. The society is a function of the status of the man's mind, the men. So it's all men's fault. Whatever, you can interpret it that way if you want. I don't care. Remember, you never care ever. Well, we're gonna keep the same energy, right? Don't care. I'm gonna tell the truth. No, actually, I don't do that. I don't do that here. I do care. I want you to understand why. Okay, it's part of our social construct. Okay, whatever you're bargaining with is what you're gonna keep getting, and yes, that's a function of time, potentially decades. But the way we move is the result of how we've moved. The result we have right now is a result of how we've moved. And if we're going to claim to be the leaders of this society, how about we don't worry about whose fault? We just take responsibility for redirecting the course of things. Right? I don't care whose fault is it. That part I don't care about. But we are the leaders, right? And there's a way we move that encourages the results we get. What will be the alternative word I just said? It's not my fault. Okay, then if you're that weak, give it up. You're not leading the society. It's very, very simple. Very simple concept. But if you know that we're not that weak, then we take responsibility and look at things a little bit closer than right and wrong and say, how can we help move in the direction we're looking to go? Okay? Let's see what else he said. it does get better with time. Okay? Sometimes it's going to get better for the next generation. You won't make it to the promised land. That's real life. Gentlemen, we're supposed to understand that. Nothing is guaranteed. You don't test out being patient for 2 days and come back and say, all of this shit don't work. I shouldn't tolerate that. No, that's lame behavior. Sometimes you won't make it to the promised land, but your children, you become proud of the fact that you set up a nice foundation for your generations to come. Gentlemen, we understand that language. Okay?
Oh, it does?
Yeah, it does.
Like wine.
Like wine.
Most important person in my life. 40 years. 40 years of sacrifice.
Sacrifice. Just because you call it sacrifice doesn't mean she can't smile. Somebody just said, I love the way they are speaking to each other there. Right? Sacrifice doesn't mean it's just painful, struggle, love all the way. Ladies, stop saying that. Okay? Stop saying that. There's no one that stayed in a 40-year marriage just because they're just nice. No! It's because they've also deemed it like this was all worth it. Oh, our parents were just suffering. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. That's that talking point.
Stop the cap.
Okay? That's that talking point. I grew up to know 3 of my grandparents very well. It wasn't all smiles, it wasn't all suffering. They're just people like you and I. They're trying to make the most out of life. A lot of laughing, a lot of good moments, a lot of emoguro, palm wine, sitting down, eating like you're about to finish your life with yam, enyo ati your begusi ati. Oh, lots of moments like that. Stop the cap. Now, are there people that suffered? Yes. Are you aware that we tend to focus on that as the grand story of everything? We do. Okay? We do. We tend to do that. All of us, not just women. All of us. We tend to bring that negative moment. We just tend to, like, I feel this way. Are you aware that you have a hard time counting your blessings? Like the rest of us. Right? I just want you to pay attention to the smile on this woman's face after 40 years of marriage. You think she didn't go through woto too? Really? You really think she didn't go through any kind of woto?
He shocked you.
Let's continue.
40 years of forgiveness. She taught me about faith, spirituality, love.
That is a fact. My wife taught me about faith, spirituality. Listen, I was raised in the church. A church boy. Play keyboard, choir. I was raised all that shit. Right? But nothing is going to spark off your growth like a person who loves you but is also going to test you and pull you out of that mediocrity of whatever you want to call spirituality, where people are just telling that everybody's the devil, right? Everything will be tested. So when he says spirituality, faith, listen, when you get to a space where everything you believed in has been like, the only thing you have left is faith, you don't really have a choice. That's real. But why do I have to do that to go through life? I know. You don't have to. Nobody ever said you have to. It's just that you will. You probably want to carry one. And then you mistakenly have a child. And then you're still in the poto like the rest of us. So now you have to build a structure around not just your life, but other people's life. And you want to what? Escape what we call life, the human experience, just by adding 1 + 1 = 2. Yeah. That's why they call them simps. Simple, gullible mind. Just, if it's not simple enough, it must not make sense.
Real love, unwavering love, in spite of myself.
Real love, unwavering love in spite of myself. Somebody say he's just being nice. No, you're just being lame. But it's okay. It's understandable that people that don't have any experience might feel that way. People that don't have any experience, but they have access to the largest amount of information we've ever had access to. Right? It makes sense. Pride makes sense at that point. Like at your fingertips, all the information. Chat GPT, just ask it. Everything. It's right there at your fingertips. But no experience. And worse, if the little experience you've had is just bad. I understand. But be guided. Be guided.
I would not be alive without Pauletta Washington. I wouldn't be alive.
He's just being nice, Abby. You think he's just being nice? Oh, let me see. What's this? I love the way they're speaking. Big love, kisses, and chicken grease. Everyone else, gracious greatness. Wahala. I don't know. I tell you, the strength of your love depending on how much you suffered, endured. Yeah, this is how life works. Okay, the strength is almost I want to be careful saying that because I don't want you to think it's just all suffering. I already said that, right? But like, let's say no pain, no gain. Let me just say it like that. Leave it alone, okay? Oh yeah, so I for become bodyguard so I can provide the safety and security. Is that correct? No, emotional, bro. I know you're joking, but emotional. Bodyguard know they work on this one. I mean, they done the UK too. Oh, you are in the UK. I was 34. Lame as iron, know what? I didn't say that. Happy wife, happy life. Well, holler. You say that to some people, you trigger them really badly. They will start calling. You still happy wife, happy life. They just be triggered like, Akilode. Lori. Wahala. For who no get happy wife. Like bicycle. Anyone asking that question, were they virgins themselves? Rubbish. Wahala. Ojibra yekpa. Ojibra now. Wahala for who no Ojibra now. Hey. Could it be because when we pick our spouses, we don't consider the full aspect of our lives? Someone can be a good husband, but not a good father. Others can be good fathers, but not so. It's all of that and everything in between. You know, when we say I do, we don't know what we're doing. Very simple, okay? So when you enter it, you remain a student, okay? Your best teacher is your partner, okay? Not some lame ass short bastard on the YouTube, okay? I'm sorry. I'm throwing some shots, but it's okay, right? It's okay. There ain't nobody, so it doesn't matter, okay? You get the gist, okay? You remain a student. Your best teacher, there's going to be many teachers, like what Denzel was just sharing, but your best teacher is your partner. That doesn't mean what the words they're saying, not necessarily the words they're saying, but understanding them from a place of understanding, you know, just emotionally for the most part, you know. So, yeah, the others can be good father, others can be good husband. I'm starting to look at that sideways. It's becoming a talking point, okay? There's too many people that are ending up in avoidable divorces. Yes, I said it. Voila. Okay. Avoidable, okay? It's not everyone that needed to end up like that. If it ended up like that, you can call it was meant to be. But it's time to understand something. Can you look into the past and learn some very vital lessons and don't justify BS? There's just some things you didn't know. Listen, for those of us that we end up at 15 years, well, you know, a big chunk of it is luck, okay? But there's a lot of work that we've done as well. Okay, a lot of work. He tested everything that, you know, we went in space too, that was like, fuck this shit. Okay? What's up, babe? All right. So it's not, this is, I'm starting to hear the good father, but not a good husband thing. It's starting to sound like 1 + 1 = 2 to me. Once you start hearing as a repetitive talking point, everybody is saying it, I want you to look yourself in the mirror and say, what does that even mean? Let's dig in deeper. What's in between this? Because it sounds like 1 + 1 = 2. There's an X factor. And that's the one that's really, really causing a lot of trouble. Okay? Because everybody knows what the rules are. You know what the rules are. Just love each other. Just come together and love each other, right? Love each other to death do us part, right? Everybody know what that shit is. We all know what that is. From birth, right? Some people refuse to learn beyond that, and they start repeating that talking point at 32, and they wonder why I'm 32, and what happened? What happened was, well, anyway, I'm still managing my time here. So sagaciously, it's that and everything in between, the X factor. That X factor is usually has to do with you. There's some principles. Number one principle, unity. A house divided against itself cannot stand. If you are correct and you're right and everything is correct, if your husband or your wife doesn't subscribe to that same ideology, no matter how correct it is, there's division. Work. That's simple. Work. So what is unity? Is a moving target. Are you aware of that? Oh, but you said this yesterday, bro. It's a moving target. All right, it's a moving target. If you understand those two principles and you understand that systems are not your mate, you set up systems. Systems mean both people subscribe to it, with room for continuous conversation, fun, lots of kerewa, continuous conversation. Check your pride. Yes, we all got pride. All of us. I don't care how you were raised. You've got pride. All realistic expectations, check that shit. It will destroy everything, even when you're right. Blind spot. Ask why, what? Oh, I didn't see it that way. Well, I kind of disagree, but I see where you're coming from. Oh, damn. I'm upset. Okay, let me go and sleep. I wake up in the morning. I'm here, babe. I'm sorry about yesterday. But this is what I was trying to say. I didn't feel like you got what I was trying to say. Okay. All right. We'll work it out. Let me go to work. Let's talk about it when I get back from work. Right? This is how it works in real life. And some people, they just get to a place that gets very, very, It starts with little resentment, little small offense, right? It goes through the roof, right? Hit that like button, I beg. Hit that like button. If you're enjoying it, hit that like button. Let's see. Some are hood wives, but not good mothers. His wife took care of the home when he was away. Some women will think they are being neglected. Yeah, it depends. Some women do feel that way. They feel neglected. But it's usually not just because he traveled or because he's in the army. There are deeper issues. They're usually floating in the emotional zone. The emotional is that zone that I'm looking for? In the emotional realm. Okay? They're not stuff you can easily pinpoint with your fingers, right? Because they're not right and wrong. It's like, no, she's actually freaking wrong. And even if you tell your father or you tell somebody, you say, yeah, you're right, she's wrong, and they will try to check her, and you're still ending up in more poto. That's why family meetings are terrible to fix marriages. They don't work. Oh yeah, but I did family meeting and it really helped me. That's not what helped. That's just happened to be one of the things in the sequence. It doesn't help. Be careful with family meetings. Be careful with calling the papa over to come and help you sort it out. One person is going to resent. One person is going to feel like talking in the issues for the next 3 years, and then to come back even bigger. Be careful with that. Just want to throw that in real quick. But Yul Edochie said more than Diso. Which one? I missed that. Excuse my French toasting. Was that toasting French or something? What happened? Words of affirmation truly is a love language. Yes. It's one of my primary. I think it's number 2 for me. Number 1? Actually, number 1 for me, actually. So it's no wonder why I tell people, watch your mouth. Social skills, right? I value words. I do. So at very subconscious levels. I can control not showing how I feel, but trust me, I feel some type of way if you use the wrong words. Yep, it's real. Sagaciously say fluidity, right? Yeah, like Bruce Lee said, be like water. Right? Like water. Yep. Don't be rigid. If you're rigid, you're a stone. We will throw you against the wall. Okay? Don't be so rigid. Nothing in life is, anyway. Everything evolves, everything moves. So if you're that rigid, it's like, why? You will sink all the way to the bottom of the ocean. You was always happy in his wife until he brought Judy. Yeah, that's social media stuff. That's social media. We're talking about when I'm quietly in the room with you. Am I able to say, yes, baby, you're right. You know you're right. Come over here, give me a kiss. Without nobody watching. Are you able to do that? Are you able to say, come over and sit on my lap? Right? Are you able to say, my okom, you'll worry me? Are you able to do things like that? I mean, it's awkward for you. Yeah, if it's awkward for you, sure. There are a bunch of snatchers. We talked about snatcher today, right? And then you'll be like, oh no, they're just evil. I was like, bro, part of that equation. Remember that X factor? Part of that equation is that you find it awkward to say, oh, no, worry me, awkward me, my husband, my lord. When they said, there's a video that says, somebody said, my lord. I forgot to bring that video here today. And a bunch of women like, my lord, Guinea. Like, it's awkward, Abby. Yeah, okay. You just want to do baby, honey? Okay. There's nothing wrong with all of that. I think all of it is good. I'm just saying, if you get triggered because somebody say you should be calling your husband my lord, it's not just what you think it is. There's something that's triggering that, right? If they said, oh, leadership versus partnership, like, partnership. No, I didn't do partnership like this. And they don't have to fight each other. Two things can be true at the same time. Conversation for another day. But shout out to Denzel Washington for giving us some good material here. Words have power. He too couldn't have survived until Judy showed up. Yeah, that's just social media stuff. They were suffering in that marriage for years. At least she was. He was always on the road, right? But at least she was. Nothing just rise to the surface and just fall out of the skies one day. That's not how that works, you know. Dilo says snatchers will reset your brain, especially when we talk about it on Merit of Prestige. Yeah, it's not just he's a bad person or snatch what? Oh, it's his fault because he wants to be snatched. No, there's more to it. Yeah, you're right, but there's more. What else? Oh yeah, but why does he need his ego to be stroked? Like, is he not an adult? Yeah, that's how you feel. Okay. This is real life. It's an active marketplace. Okay. It's a very active marketplace. Values exchanging hands from people to people, and sometimes it's the form of your husband. Oh, I know. Bad behaviors are still bad behavior. Don't get me wrong. But let's talk about all of it. Everything. All right. So let's do this. I think I have maybe one more to cover today, and I'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Let's talk about Pastor K. I like reacting to Pastor K stuff. I should do more of it. Shout out to Pastor K, shout out to Denzel, TikTok, all those other platforms. But before we get into this, let me see. Sagaciously, I missed something there. You said, okay, so you were comparing Denzel to Yul Edochie. Ha! Aye me. Hey!
Hey! Aye me, tèmi, bá mi.
Ha! Sagaciously.
How possible we hear of this?
You were comparing Denzel Washington's marriage, 40 years marriage, to Yul Edochie's marriage. It's not a bad, I think it's a question, I guess. The question is not too off. Yeah, because they were together for how long now? 15 years? 20 years or so? Maybe 15. And it's still Pafuka, right? So who is this? Like, anybody can just hype their, like, right? Anybody can just hype, right? I see what you're saying there. I see what you're saying there. The comparison of Denzel Washington's marriage to Yul Edochie's marriage. And they're both actors. Fine actors. right? So Denzel was always on the road too, right? On the road in Africa, in London, right? Yeah, it's the X factor. We will never know. By the way, Denzel can come back tomorrow. Let me say this right now before we bring Pastor K to the table here, to the pulpit. Denzel can turn around tomorrow and say, this marriage is over. It just didn't work out. Shiko Sheleri.
Abba, you lie. Sabi lie.
It's not like it can happen. Listen, especially the gentleman listening to me right now, okay? Nothing, I repeat, nothing is life. Nothing in this life is guaranteed. Nothing. Okay? Nothing in this life is guaranteed. Let's lead with that, first of all. Okay? Nothing in this life is guaranteed. But as human beings, we have incredible radar for BS. You can smell it. You just know. You might not be able to pinpoint it, right? You might not be able to prophesy it, but you just feel it. You just know that something is authentic. Okay? So the question is that, am I willing to bet? In spite of the fact that nothing is guaranteed, he can come tomorrow and say the marriage is over. Am I willing to bet that Denzel Washington and the wife are going to withstand the test of time? They're not going, unless somebody buy, they're not going anywhere. Am I willing to bet? Yeah. Nothing more than my monthly livelihood, Sha. Nothing more than my monthly livelihood, Sha. That's about it. Not only that, even Will Smith and wife, they will last and stand the test of time more than your average marriages out here right now. Okay? How do I know that? Because they've broken it down all the way to the foundation and rebuilt. No matter how terrible it looks to you on the outside. You can just know. Like you, we didn't see that coming. You're right. You're right. We didn't see it coming. Yeah. All right. You don't value someone until you lose them. Snatchers are always waiting for any opportunity. Shout out to Brother Patrick. And the opportunity is real. You know what I'm saying? That's the part of the conversation we never have. That's why I will bring that. I'll pull the Snatchers is a bad person. You're right. But the other side of it, like, protect yours. Okay? That's like, don't go there and say, hey, why does this sneaking need to be ego need to be so? He's a human being. She's human. And a woman. Right? Oh, no, be your mate. Protect. You edify. Become a person of edification. Edify yours. Make it your business to blow his head through the water. Yeah, his ego. You know, very, very important. Okay. But we'll come back to some of the let me play this. Pastor K has something to share with us. I think it's related too. So let's just listen to Pastor K.
I notice that nowadays women are another thing I notice is that nowadays women are also, drinking and smoking like men. Women are also partying and clubbing like men. The modern woman is facing identity crisis. So she wants to party and
the modern woman is facing identity crisis. Pastor K said it. It's true. It's true. It's true. How do I know it's true? Well, I don't know. Let's listen to the rest of it.
Dress naked, and so nowadays you can't even tell who is a commercial sex worker and who is just a normal lady in the club, because
just let them dress how they want. Let them do them. What is your business with that? A man should not be speaking to how a woman dresses or what she chooses to put on and all this kind of stuff. Listen, every talking point has a space, has a place, right? It's a right time and a place for it, right? But talking point has one habit. They will destroy the whole society before you look back and there's casualties everywhere. And like I said, if you fix it, you might not get to the promised land. Though. It might be your children that will enjoy it. But there will be casualties. Though. Okay, let's see what Pastor K is saying again. Many of you love Pastor K, so safe zone.
They're trying to be as wild as men. You need to understand that a man can actually continue living this wild life without getting married, but the average woman desires instinctively.
Instinctive. Instinct is not your mate now. No. But they are the same thing. They can. Instinct is not your mate. Oh, listen. That's why I come here. I tell you, say, oh yeah, but some don't want to. But yeah, I'm not. Why should those people be on this platform? They're welcome, I guess, but we're not talking about them. They're good to go. You want to live in a cave? You don't want to be connected to a man. You don't need a wife like the other gentleman. I gave the example early. I just like Kiriwa. I just want to walk around the town and pay £200 every week to Kiriwa anybody I like. He go collect big time. Hopefully it won't be disease. Okay. Listen, there are principles that guide this life. That's true for every single one of us. Even when you are the exception, you go collect. Because society and socialization is not your mate. You don't make up your own rules. Don't do that. Oh, just, I don't follow the world's rule. I don't follow people. I just do it. That's stupid talk. Let me just tell you what it is. It's ignorant at best. Unless you live in a cave. I'm guessing you don't. That's how you can hear me right now. Let's keep going.
Naturally desires to marry, desires to have children. There's something in you that wants security. Men don't need security. A man will be happy to have 10 wives,
Obviously, he's generalizing, but there's a lot of truth in what he's saying. Okay? By the way, men to go collect, if you spread your seeds, basically you're spreading your resources all over the place, it's stupid too. But I'm just saying, at an emotional level, when it comes to this romantic thing, they're kind of allowed to do anyhow. Guess who allowed them the most? Women. Ladies, now una. now good. All right, let's keep going.
No wives, 10 girlfriends and 10 children with 10 different people. A man doesn't care. Men run away from their kids. There are times a woman comes to a man, oh, I'm pregnant. He runs away. He denies the baby. Men have no emotional.
Terrible behavior, but does it not happen? Right? Again, he's generalizing, right? But there's a lot of truth that you should pay attention to in what he's saying.
From their kids. There are times.
Oh, by the way, generalizations generally have truth in them. Right, so but there's something I wanted to pay attention to there, right? And I think it's something I've been repeating for a few days. We're different, okay? We're different is not a bad thing. It means we can complement each other, right? It means you should just be aware we're different. It doesn't mean you should encourage bad behavior, okay? Because listen, if you encourage bad behavior, you too self will collect, But you should be aware of certain differences, right? And while we'll continue to fight for equality at the standpoint of human rights, workplace rights, and stuff like that, when it comes to this career thing and intimate relationships, because they work, right? Because you can't make two equal things complement each other. It just doesn't make any sense. Go make sense now. Go right now, eh?
A woman comes to a man, oh, I'm pregnant. He runs away. He denies the baby. Men have no emotional. It's not instinctive. Yeah, there are a few that will be emotional, but most are not. But it's hard to see a woman that doesn't care about her baby. It's hard. It's rare. And the scripture says, can a woman forget?
Somebody right now is saying, I know women that don't care about their babies. So, yeah, congratulations to you. You missed the whole point. It's okay, Sha. Let me continue.
Forget her suckling child. It didn't say, can a man forget her suckling child? Because the man will definitely forget. So women are being pressured now. So women are smoking and drinking and smoking weed. They are taking drugs. What you need to realize is that most men and women that go to club, a lot of those men don't want to marry those women they meet in clubs.
Wait, is that a surprise? Is that newsflash? Somebody learning that for the first time? That most men that go to the club don't necessarily want to pick a wife from the club. It's not like it doesn't happen, but they don't want to do that. Is that newsflash? Somebody said that's a newsflash. It's a newsflash. Yeah. I don't care. I'm still going to go to the club. I deserve to go to the club too, really. Sure. Listen, in this world, especially if you're in the Western world, in fact, they want you. They will let you enter for free. You know why they let you enter for free? Because you're not a man. No man is entering that club for free. Why? Because we're different. They will let all the ladies enter for free. Why? Because the men will come and see. Do they want to carry you home for a wife? They might. That's not what they want. That's not what they want, though. But that's just terrible. Men should be able to control themselves. Like, I know. It's just not the reality. That's fantasy land. La la land. That's fantasy land. Okay? Sagaciously speaking says, Will Smith and his wife will last forever. They have found a solution to the problem. Open marriage. Yeah, you're on the internet. You should read Will Smith's book. You're talking about internet talking points. Yeah. Traditionally, women walked naked, didn't they? Here we go. Congratulations to you. That's not what he's talking about. You're absolutely correct. That's not what he's talking about. All right.
The man that the modern woman is dating is still a traditional man. That's what you need to realize. Most of them.
Not only that, all the women in his life, I think it's going to say that too. Let me say it anyway. All the women in his life, right? The ones that have also ended up in club and making the same talking point, they don't want their son or their cousin to be with that girl in the club. They don't. The one that's walking around naked with miniskirts in church, right? Listen, miniskirts in church. Oh yeah, but you know, it's Ballade church and something like, bruh, somebody is looking at you sideways. Shout out to Blessed, right? It's a social awkwardness. I told you it's on every side. You're socially awkward. There's certain place for some things. You're disconnected from that because no, I'm just gonna do me. That's the generation we find ourselves. Everyone is like, let me just do me. And the truth is that you can't do you. It's not realistic. You can't do you. You live in a society of people. And there are rules. Either you conform to it or you're forced to conform to it by force, by fire. With your result. Let's pay attention.
They didn't get the memo. They didn't get the update that life has changed. So most of those men are still traditional in their mind. They want to marry a homely woman, a respectful woman, a godly woman. Now, but they're dancing in the club with you, smoking shisha. Or
so they're encouraging the behavior. You see why it's a problem everywhere? They're encouraging the problem, right? That's the point we're trying to make.
Whatever it is, they're smoking weed and drinking, alcohol with you, but they don't want to marry you.
And so they're wondering why they can't find wives too. They are very quick to say there's no wives everywhere. What did I say earlier on today? I said the society is a function of how the man moves. All that needs to happen is that men won't patronize that kind of behavior again, and it will naturally stop because market no be your mate. Okay, but as long as there's market for it, either by way of emotional, because oh no, but we're just tapping like we don't want to take them home, bro. It's still market. It's still market, right? If there's market for it to continue to exist, it is what it is. But something to pay attention to if you want to single yourself out in this behavior. You want to become the individual that can say, you know what, I can't relate with that, right? Some of you don't smoke shisha, you don't go to clubs. So just be aware, right? That socialization, meaning numbers are what they are. When they're showing up in the stats and data, they mean something. It's because we've been moving it's lagging indicator, but we've been moving some type of way. And you should pay attention to it too. As much as I want you to pay attention to real-time data, you should also pay attention to, the breakdown of society, if you want to call it that. If you don't think it's breakdown, it's fine too, right? But I think the idea is to put structure, the family structure in people's lives, and quality of life just simply improves. Just by that. It's just a very simple idea. It's not off the radar like that. Like, it's just family structure. Like, you put resources together, you're able to go further. 2 heads is better than 1, right? That's just something very simple. It's not that much of a big deal, right? But clearly, humans on a general scale have decided at some point and say, you know what? He who finds a wife finds a good thing, right? You know what? Let's procreate. MRBC, MRSC, right? Just humans, at a general scale, it doesn't mean there was no argon, a person that couldn't just have babies. It doesn't mean there was no person that didn't have fertility issues. It doesn't mean that there is no extra circumstances where somebody is sexually oriented in a different way, right? We're just talking at a general scale. Pay attention to that. Listen, if you're going to swim against the trend, all I'm asking is that you better know what you're doing. Because if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to drown. You will self-destruct because socialization will be your mate. That's all. You have to create new rules if you're going to create new standards. You can't operate with the same energy you operate in this rule with. It just won't work. Simple stuff, right? Like it's not that complicated.
You don't want to marry. So these are the reasons why we have more and more single, more sex, less marriages. We're having more sex, but less marriages. So most men you are dating are traditional. They don't want to marry a club girl. But they can dance with you in the club. They can sleep with you after the club. They can smoke something with you in the club. They can drink something with you in the club. But they really, really want a homely woman.
Yeah, shout out to Pastor K.
Doesn't care about her baby.
Shout out to Pastor K. I think his point is well received, you know. Let me see here. Gomez says this is a general thing. Yes, it's a general thing. Sagacious says, but he's generalizing, so let's generalize MOP. You're being biased, so no, you know, it looks like you just started coming here. I've always said generalization is a part of this deal. When you're talking on the internet, you have to generalize. But if you're generalizing at a level where you're not telling the full story, or you're not a Pastor K, you want to help people, like you know, you say something like, "Oh, all Nigerian women are evil. Don't bring them to America." Like, bro, what do you mean? Can you tell me the rest of the story? You're not wrong, right? But tell me the rest of the story. That's what we've always said. Not that generalization is wrong. We all generalize. We just have to sometimes, you know, especially if we're talking on a public platform, you know. But I think he made some good points. You know, he made some good point. The main point is not the generalization. He did grossly generalize. But the main point, I think, is that society is really trying to... the standards of society is changing. There's dynamics that's changing. It's moving, it's evolving. And the casualty of it is just bad, you know. And people are struggling to find love. And if you know anything about human beings, connection is major. Number 4, connection is major, right? We're social beings. All of this stuff, as much as we want to be able to take care of ourselves, we like it better when we get it from other people. Certainty, we like it better when we feel safe in our environment. But you're responsible for your own. Yeah, BS cap. Stop the cap. You like it when you feel safe in your environment. If you don't, you start acting a certain type of way. Variety will like to be entertained. We like to, oh Allah, very beautiful painting. That's a fine man. That's a fine girl over there. We like things that it's not necessarily structural, but it's beauty to us, right? Significance. We all want to feel significant. Where does it come from? From inside? Listen, if you're a healthy person, a lot of that should be coming from inside, but also because hopefully somebody poured it into you as a child when you were being raised, right? Hopefully you can self-validate. But when other people validate you, can we stop the cap? We like that too, right? We like that now.
Stop the cap.
We like it, right? When somebody else says something, it makes you feel valid, right? We all do. And we don't like it. We feel some type of way when somebody says, you're wrong. Right? Like, what do you mean I'm wrong? Right? Connection. Right? Connection. We're social beings. Plus emotional. Right? If you come here quite a bit, you like romance. You're hopeless romantic. Oh no, you don't know me like that. Oh me, I don't care. I mean, I can leave, I can die all by all by myself. Oh. I beg you.
Don't care. Don't care. Don't care.
I beg you. Growth. We all don't want to feel like we're stagnant. You start to feel unfulfilled. When people say fulfillment, growth, you're feeling stagnant. Feelings. You can even be growing, but feelings disconnected from the growth. Now, voila. Contribution. We all want to contribute to other people's lives. We all enjoy when you're able to pull out $1. I said $1 like everybody's from dollar. When you're able to pull out $1 and give it to that homeless person on the street, you felt good about that. That you were able to give a quick handout. You like that a friend could call you in times of need. Not all the time, but once in a while they were stuck. They called you for help. You like the idea that you could help them. No, I'm just doing it because I'm just a nice person. Stop the cap. Yeah, that too, but
Stop the cap.
stop the cap. It's a basic human need, contribution. All right. So we're going to leave it at that for today. Brother Patrick says he's right to greater extent, to a large extent. I've told you before, don't turn my talking points into religion. They will fall on their face too all the time. We're on Prestige Hour number 111 right now. Prestige Hour number 1 was calling out gross generalization, the Bishop episode. We're on number 111. I told you from day one, don't turn anything we do here to religion. Okay, there's nothing I say that's always absolutely true. There's nothing like that, right? But yes, it was grossly generalizing, but there were some really, really good points that anyone should run with, okay? Especially from a standpoint of self-awareness, right? If you are a sister, a mother, you know that you don't want your son, your nephew to bring home any old good old type of chick. You know that. If you're a father, you're somebody's uncle, right? You know that there's that guy that you don't want to see around your, like there's a way he talks. You be like, no, I can't let you be with my niece. Are you mad? Look at how you are talking. You're talking very disrespectful in the name of you're telling the truth. No, get here, right? You know this. You can reflect and say, it is true. I wouldn't like this. Right? We've all been young before. I clubbed too, right? I clubbed with my wife. I didn't meet my wife at the club though. As a matter of fact, I enjoy the fact, listen, call this selfish, call it all you want. Let me leave you with this. Right? I enjoyed quite a bit that my wife wasn't really a clubber. She wasn't that girl. Like she wasn't interested. There were quite a lot of times, kiss, okay, see you. She goes upstairs into your father's house, and I would drive her from there to the club. I enjoyed, call it selfish, I enjoyed the fact that she's not one of those chicks that we're about to go and be dancing with inside the club. It is what it is. I know, it's terrible, right? It's just a reality that you need to be aware of. If you say it's wrong, you're right.
Well, you're right.
And if you say I'm right, you're also right.
Well, you're right.
But I don't care about any of that. I just want you to be aware of the reality so that you can move accordingly, so that you can win. I want you to win. Win, Bitibawo. It's just my own rules. No. Win. It's a highly competitive marketplace. There's a way you move as a man or a woman that you will win or be a loser. It's very, very simple. Okay? Very active marketplace. Okay? So something was off with my lighting today. My face is supposed to be a little bit lit up more today, but I don't know what happened. But we started the show. We ran the show anyway. It was a good show. I enjoyed myself. Tomorrow we will definitely be dropping the link, so come prepared tomorrow. We have an important topic to cover tomorrow. Chinya says, when I was married, once in a while we go in the club. I absolutely love to dance. I love taking my wife to the club especially after we got married. But when I was earlier on, I liked the fact that we didn't meet her in the club, and then we said good night, and then I end up in the club somewhere, and then my wife is like this over there, and another guy like I call it bias, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. I think she said sagacious to say bias, right? I know, it's sad. It's called double standard. It's real. But it's part of things you need to be socially aware of, right? All right, so that's all I have for you today. We did another 3 hours, supposed to be 2 hours. I tried, but we have to keep the work going, right? All right, thank you so much. On your way out, hit that like button. Please share and share and share. Don't get tired of sharing. Send a quick one-line note. Check out this guy. We're just having a conversation over there. It's called the Prestige Family. Check him out. Check him out, right? That's all you need to do, right? So hopefully been enlightened and educated. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I will see you on the next one. Peace.